Good day, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to Just Plain Living. I'm John Gray.
Good morning. I'm Peggy Burton.
And I'm Jim Fuller.
And we're tired. Or I am. I don't know about you.
Well, we did a Tennessee Traveler show last night, so that usually keeps me up later than I want to be, going through all the tickets and signing all that stuff and figuring out just how good and how bad we did and how good the people were out there. And we had a great crowd on the show last night.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
Got rid of everything?
A lot of people like that. Got most of it. Got rid of most of it.
There's a new baby in London. Are you
New
excited?
baby in London. I don't think I've heard anything about that.
You haven't heard a word, have you?
Yeah, right.
They were on the Today Show earlier this morning, and they did about a 5-minute segment on it. And then that one girl said, "Okay, we're not going to say anything about the baby for the next hour."
And did they? They couldn't say
I don't know,
anything?
but there's I think there's a. They were talking about some type of website you could go on, or you could enter something in your social media that said "not royal," and it filtered out all of the stuff about the baby.
Oh, really?
Really?
Yeah, if you don't care about it.
Interesting.
Well, I mean, that stuff could be. Don't you have friends that send you stuff, and it just all of a sudden your whole computer's blown up with,
with
stuff that you
that
really don't care anything
I know.
about.
It's true. Yeah, it is. And so I delete a lot of things.
But you don't want to go, oh, block this because you don't know enough about it to think, well, is that going to make that person mad if I don't want to hear about the baby?
You know, I've noticed a lot of people now are putting on their Facebook pages that some notice that I don't play games, so don't send me
Don't send me games.
game requests.
Yeah, because people who get into doing that, all of a sudden
And it takes all your time,
every time they have a new score or something like that, or they need a pig for their farm.
You got to hear about it.
It's all over.
Here's something that happened to me that would have never happened to people. But there's apparently this new game on Facebook called Candy Crush.
Candy Crush.
Yeah, I don't know.
I don't know
how to play it.
Pam does.
I'm another generation.
Yes, Pam knows how to play it. She's really good at it. And apparently she was sitting at my computer one day and playing Candy Crush on my computer. and I guess I was logged in. Well, I didn't even know how to play Candy Crush, but I'm getting all these requests from everybody for whatever it takes to play this game now. And I hate to tell them, that, I'm up here in some level, that unheard of level. I've never even played it.
And you've never played, and you don't know how you got there.
But,
well, that's different.
Anyway,
Fran does that to me every night.
Does she?
Yeah, she'll use my computer, and it's really kind of funny about that kind of stuff because I'm sure Jimmy's quite more technical than I am, but my computer's set up the way so I go and I type and I go on Facebook and
read your stuff and
my Facebook page or Channel 6's Facebook page is there. Well, if somebody else uses your computer and then you get on, and a lot of times some of the stuff that they do changes around your normal settings, and so you go to push something and it goes somewhere else.
I don't like it.
It's frustrating.
Well, then you got to figure it all out, and I'm not good at figuring that out. So I yell through the hole in the wall back there, Philip,
and he figures it out.
Philip figures it out.
Philip is our genius.
Yeah.
He does a great
Resident
job.
genius.
Yeah, things like that are not good for people our age because I had to figure it out. Now
you don't have to.
Now I don't have to because there's somebody around who can do it.
Somebody else will do it. Yeah.
Easier.
Yeah.
I had a boss one time. I was building condos in Nashville, and for this guy, and he was younger and technical, and I would try to call him, and he would text me back. And I had this little flip phone that I couldn't hardly see anyway. And so one day he said, "Why don't you text me?" He said, "I can't take these phone calls. I'm in meetings." And I said, "Well, I don't have one of those gadgets like you do." So he gets me, this is back during the time when a BlackBerry was
Right. He got you a BlackBerry.
top of the line. He shows up and hands me this
text.
BlackBerry, and he says, "Here's your BlackBerry." And I said, "Well, where's the 14-year-old that's going to operate?" "You need to hire one because I can either work for you and build your properties or text you. Which do you want me doing?"
What do you say?
He said, well, I don't understand. I said, well, if I text you, it's going to take all my time.
And you'll never get the
Dealing
property
with
taken
it.
care of.
Yes,
And I won't get my job done.
But times have changed now. Now we've kind of come into that world where we have to text, or at least I have. I think
I
you have
do.
too.
I wouldn't have any
No,
conversation if I didn't.
What my text is call me, damn it. That's my text.
Yeah, you've learned that, huh?
Yeah, and
Well,
it works too.
Actually, I think that's a lot. I've come to realize that's a lot more efficient, the texting thing.
It is. It was
you get
way
past
more.
the hello, how are you doing?
You don't have to do all that.
How's your wife
Just-
and kids, etc., and all that. You just get right to
You
the
just say,
point.
send me $5.
Yeah, right.
That's it.
Right.
No, but it's true. It's a handy tool.
Yeah.
Well, I like to know how mom and them are. I want to know that.
You really want to hear their voice,
I
don't
want
you?
to know that.
There's going to come a time when you'll never hear anybody's voice. Does that mean we'll
Yeah,
lose
but
our
I tell
hearing?
you what, and I tell these young people who sit next to each other doing this all the time, I say, listen, at some point, and I know it's easy because you get to research your answer before you answer someone. You don't have to be quick on your feet and quick with your mind. You've got time to text your other buddy and say, Tommy wants me to go out on Friday night. Don't we? Or is there anything better we can do? And then text back. But when you get grown up and you're talking about doing business with someone or making life decisions, it happens right here.
Right in between the two of you.
And
That's
if you
true.
don't know how to read the inflections on another person's face or how to deal with whether they turn or which way they look, you will get taken advantage of forever.
You're
Because
right,
it all
probably.
happens right here, not down here.
You remember that, Peggy?
I'm trying
She's
to.
got it.
I'm
She's
trying
got
to.
it. She's got it. I tell you what, I've seen her give people looks that'll melt the hair off their head.
There's a lot going on in this town this weekend. We need to talk about that.
Let's talk about that.
This weekend, well, maybe next weekend.
Greece.
That's next weekend.
Greece.
Greece, Tullahoma
Blackburn,
Community
Greece.
Playhouse is putting on Greece at Motlow, not this weekend,
Next week.
but the following weekend, and the same weekends that MAC is putting on their show, and they're going to be on the show today, so we'll talk
Hey,
about
wait a
that.
minute.
Have I got it
July
wrong?
26th. That's this weekend.
That's this weekend? Oh my gosh, that means the country show is not very
2
far
weeks
away.
away. 3 weeks away.
I guess I better get
We're
on
in
the
trouble,
ball.
aren't we?
Yeah. They open this weekend. That's right.
You're not in trouble, John,
And
because that's
that's
the
at
way we
Motlow.
function.
Yeah, we function on the edge.
Yeah.
There's just so much going on. It's hard
It's
to
a
keep
week
my head.
away. I got all the time in the world.
Oh,
Yeah.
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 By the way, this past weekend, something really unusual happened. There were two young ladies, Tullahoma High School seniors, who won most outstanding young
I saw
woman
that.
in Tennessee.
Miss Vance was one?
She was runner-up, and Courtney Miller was the winner.
And we
that-
need to be very proud of
Yeah,
that.
absolutely. And I understand that's the first time it's ever happened in the 55-year history
Right.
of that.
I hope they're going to come on our show one of these days.
They will once we can herd them in.
Yeah.
And it's probably pretty close because school starts next Wednesday here in Tullahoma, and that's one thing that we want everybody out there, all you Tullahoma folks and people visiting us, to realize that children will be on the streets and doing the things that happen.
slow your car
School
down.
zones will be in
Yeah.
play, and that's a week from this Wednesday that will
Seems
happen.
like
And
summer
so,
didn't even have we even had summer?
well,
We've had a
we go to school.
monsoon.
We go to school all the time around here.
I
pretty
know.
much.
Do you think it's
Other
the best
towns,
thing?
I don't want to get into that discussion. It's not good
I
for
don't know.
sports.
Yeah,
It's
I don't know
horrible
what's
for
the best
sports.
thing. Yeah.
I'm a big sports guy, and a year-round school is horrible for sports.
I'm going to defer to Dr. Lawson, who is
He'll
my
tell
friend,
you,
and,
yeah.
and say he probably knows
He'll
best.
he'll know best.
Yeah.
Well, he's going to be on here. And he's going to come and talk about they have a new telephone, iPad type communication system this year where the parents can go online and find out everything they need to know about their child, and the students can go online and find out, what's happening, what my grades are, what my assignments are, all this stuff.
You know,
And
I don't think it's
very
actually
functional.
it's not new. It's just that none of the kids told their parents about it, so they're trying to make a big push this year.
Yeah,
they're trying to make
know.
a big push this year to let them know what's going on, but it's been around for a year.
You think
too.
they'll eventually eliminate teachers?
No.
They'll just have
It's
computers and iPads, and they'll learn all this stuff.
I guess in theory you can go on there at any time and see how your kid's doing. You know what he's supposed to be doing.
Not many people need to have a teacher to tell them who was the first president of the United States. They just dial it up and there it is.
It's parents don't realize, a lot of parents don't realize, and sadly it takes some sort of tragedy or bad event. When your child's in school and they're in high school and stuff, you can go get all their information, anything you want. When they're 18 years old,
forget it.
you can't get anything. And we found out when and I'm saying to all you parents out there, you need to have an agreement with your child about power of attorney.
Yeah, you
Because
do.
when something happens, like in our case, when Jacob had an accident and
He was
we
older
went
than
for his
18.
information or went to do something, they said, well, you can't do that. He needs to make that decision. Well, he's in a coma.
Yeah.
You know, and so I'm just saying, I'm not wishing anything sad or bad on anybody.
But you need to make those
realize when your
arrangements.
children
That's true.
turn 18, they have to give you the right to share their information. And of course, if they're in college, if you don't do it before that, they're not going to want. They don't want you to know.
Forget it.
They don't want you to know. So yeah, we got a lot of good things happening this week, this weekend. This town is always, in this area, is always full of things to do. Anybody that says they can't find something to do around here is not looking.
They're not looking. You're right.
Because
There's
it is
plenty to do.
everywhere. It is everywhere.
By the
And,
way, go ahead. Don't let me.
No, that's it.
By the way, former Tullahoma High School baseball player DeJuan Brazelton has been inducted into the MTSU Hall of Fame.
That is
on the 1st of
awesome.
September,
Wow.
one of the youngest people ever actually to be inducted into the Hall of Fame. And I guess he's been out of baseball for a couple of years now. But
I think so.
I
don't know that
maybe
he's still playing. He might be playing low down.
But
that didn't sound very good, did it? In
what
level
do you mean by
of
that?
play.
What do you
In a
mean by
lower
that,
level.
John?
Lower level like the pros. He ain't playing low down.
I think he's still in baseball, but it's not as a player.
Yeah.
But I'm not positive about that.
Yeah,
so.
because the one thing he's not slow down. Juan's always been a straight up kind of guy.
Absolutely.
So, good
Absolutely.
guy. And we're mighty proud for him and all of our athletes. And we've got some people on from the swim club today that are going to be talking about their desire for a new competition pool. And swimming is a very important thing in this town and has been for years, and they have some exciting news.
Good.
So it'll be
That'll be
fun.
great.
We'll be back right after these messages with more Just Plain Living.
What is Rotary? We're a network of people like you. In fact, we're the original social network. More than 1 million of us live just about everywhere you can think of. And we mean everywhere. We get together to exchange ideas, grow our businesses, and make new friends. We volunteer to help our own communities or someone else's. We're right around the corner. Come join us. The name is Rotary. Rotary International. You're welcome.
This facility was built literally on the international date line to bring Charter customers tomorrow's technology first. Like Charter Internet, which was just made faster again. With speeds up to 100 megs, you can download a movie in 2 minutes. The #1 internet service provider in the nation. Click.
Fogelman, good luck with the presentation tomorrow.
Already nailed it.
Get Charter Internet Express for only $19.99 a month.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, and we're pleased to bring to you now Police Pointers, which is a relatively new segment we have here featuring Tullahoma Police Chief Paul Blackwell. And Paul's here to tell us about something you ought to be doing, I'm quite sure, that maybe you don't know about. What's your subject today, Paul?
Today I thought I'd just cover junked or abandoned vehicles. I know that probably in the course of driving around town, we all see something that's sitting in a yard that said, well, that's an eyesore, that looks bad, and so we've kind of re-energized, we meaning the police department and codes enforcement, to start addressing some of those eyesores and So we kind of have a push going to let people know that you could get visited by a police officer or a codes enforcement officer if you have junk cars or cars that seem to be abandoned. The city ordinance has pretty much said that those are a nuisance and gives us enforcement authority to do something about it. So we've kind of got two avenues that we can take. If it's on public property, which would be the road, the sidewalk, or the right-of-way, we can either take it immediately, we being the police, can tow it immediately if it's posing some type of safety issue. If it's not a safety issue and say your car just broke down and you pulled off to the side of the road, we give you 48 hours to remove it. We'll put a sticker on it as to what time we came by and checked it. 48 hours from that, if it's hasn't been moved, we'll tow it to an impound, to a wrecker lot, and then you would have to deal with the wrecker to pay the storage fee.
Yeah, that means you got to pay for it, right?
You, the citizen, not you, me, the police.
Right.
And so that's the easy one to take care of. There may be other instances where it's on your private property. Someone's had a car, and you notice your neighbor's had an old pickup truck that's, it's up on blocks. The tires are gone. Obviously that's an abandoned vehicle. And the city ordinance addresses that there's a 30-day window. If it sits for 30 days and hasn't been moved, then there's a process that can be taken to remove it from your property. We would rather code enforcement handle those type. And there's an appeal process. There's a hearing process. There's a long process. But what we generally find is, if codes enforcement goes out and talks to that resident and explains it to them, that they'll do something about the vehicle. Now the good part is, if it's rental property, we go to the actual owner,
right,
and we'll let them know what the problem is, and let them know that if we do have to come and have the vehicle towed or vehicles towed off the property, it's going to be incumbent on them to pay the fees. And if they don't pay the wreckers, then the wreckers can get a lien on their property, or the city, if the city ends up paying the cost, can put it on their tax rolls. So we kind of have a little bit of leverage with the property owner, that you may want to go out and see what your renter is doing and have some impact on getting that cleaned up. And the end result being that we have a better looking community, that you can be proud of where you live and your neighbor's not trashing the area out with junk cars and abandoned vehicles. We encourage people to either call the police department or the codes enforcement to report it. I'd prefer you call codes enforcement first, right, because they usually go out and they'll survey as to whether it's on the right-of-way or private property. Officers don't necessarily have access to the maps and the code that codes enforcement does. So we have partnered with them. If they'll go out and look at it, if they find that it is abandoned, or if it's on the right-of-way and they let us know, then we'll step up and take care of it.
Is this something you guys look for, or do you get it mainly when a citizen calls in and says it?
Generally, it's when a citizen calls in and says, "Hey, my neighbor's had this car in his front yard. It's up on blocks for 6 months," and then we'll go look at it. But kind of with the push now, codes enforcement and the police are starting to look for it more, and address it on the front end instead of waiting for someone to call us.
So you might be better advised if you've got a project or something you're working on an old car. You might ought to put it in the backyard.
Well, even in the backyard,
even in the backyard,
and that's kind of where it creates some issues with.
Yeah.
That's why we'd rather let code enforcement handle those, where they can go out and explain to the homeowner or the resident that, this is in violation. You need to move it, and if they don't, then we have to go to that next level and go through the process.
Okay.
But it's all about cleaning our city up and making it presentable, and that's what we all want.
Sure.
You can go down some of our main roads and you can think, boy, this looks nice. But then you get off the main roads, you get onto the back roads, and that's where we start finding some of the situations that aren't so pretty.
Right. Yeah, the flip chart over there tells me I've got 3 minutes left, and I've been wanting to ask you this question for a long time. Because I saw it on the internet. It must be true.
Oh, my. Yes, it must be true.
Right.
Yes.
No, I saw something on internet or Facebook somewhere where a lady was driving down the street in an unmarked police car with lights on it, was following her and pulled her over. She was apprehensive about it, so she called the police department and found out that this was indeed an imposter. What should someone do? That's probably not something that happens very often.
It doesn't happen often, but it is one of those topics that we like to cover a couple times a year, and primarily around the holiday seasons when there's a lot of traffic out. And so hopefully I can remember all my points since you kind of got me. But there's generally three things that I recommend someone does if they're suspicious of a unmarked vehicle. The first is to continue driving the speed you're at and call 911 and talk to the dispatcher. The dispatcher can get on the radio and call if there's anyone trying to stop this car. So, you know, you have that, and if the dispatcher comes back and said, yes, that is a police officer behind you, then you know it's okay to pull over.
Okay.
The second being, if you are not sure to continue driving the speed, we keep saying drive the speed limit. If it is a real police officer and you start accelerating, they're going to think they're in a pursuit now, and things have become a little more complicated. So stay at the same speed limit, drive to a well-lit place, a gas station, a restaurant, before you pull over, where there's people. And generally, if it's an imposter, they're going to keep going.
Right.
And the third being, continue to drive the speed limit and drive to your local law enforcement agency, the sheriff's office, the police department. And again, an imposter is not going to pull into a police station or a sheriff's office.
Okay.
So those are the three things we generally like to tell people. And but the big key is don't speed up.
Right.
Because then it would work. You know, you keep driving as long as you're moving. You know, things are pretty good. But when you stop, if you're out on that side road, like you say, you never know. So use some common sense. Follow those 3 steps, and the instances of us having people that are imposters will be diminished, will be reduced.
Right. Okay.
Of course, we love to catch them, so that's why we encourage you to get on the telephone and call the dispatcher. Call 911. Because the dispatcher can get officers started that way, which they'll do generally, and hopefully we can intercept them and catch them.
Okay, and number one, I guess it's illegal for you to have those blue lights on a private vehicle
right.
to begin with, isn't it?
Someone that's non-law enforcement, it is a violation to have blue lights.
Yeah.
Blue lights that flash. You know, if you go to some of these custom car places, they can put a solid blue light on it, but as long as that light doesn't flicker.
Right.
Once it starts flickering, then you're in violation.
Yeah. I'm impressed, Paul. You knew that. You knew that.
I knew that.
Okay. All right. Paul, thank you so much. We appreciate it. It's always fun. Folks, we'll be right back in just a moment with more living right after this.
Hello, everyone. I'm Renee Keene, and I'm running for alderman. I want to serve the citizens of Tullahoma while promoting quality education, economic growth, and while staying engaged in our community's needs. I want to be your voice of reason for the next 3 years. I'm Renee Keene, and I would appreciate your vote on August the 1st. Thank you.
Get your news first, fast, and free with your news leader on 6 every Tuesday, Thursday, and Saturday nights at 6, 8, and 10 p.m. Local weather, sports, community calendar events, and a comprehensive look at the latest news stories and news makers as only a video news broadcast can do. Get it first, fast, and free with News Leader on Channel 6, your local information network.
When you see the sign, The Main Event, take a close look inside at a hair studio that offers services by some of the best master stylists in Middle Tennessee. These stylists offer a list of services that compete with large city salons, from trendy cuts for men, women, and children to the latest color techniques, including highlights and bold color accents. Other services offered include permanent hair weaving and relaxing to formal hairstyle for that special occasion. You can also give yourself a very special treat with a full makeover, including full body waxing. For your convenience, we are open Monday through Saturday from 9 a.m. until the last client leaves happy. Call and make your appointment at 931-571-8682 or stop by our Tullahoma location at 207 North Jackson Street. Pamper yourself at the main event today.
How long has it been since you raced a cheetah? Are your tornado creating skills getting rusty? Tired of being the only one in your neighborhood who hasn't built a dinosaur? Sounds like it's time to visit the Hands-On Science Center. The Hands-On Science Center is an indoor science playground. In this museum, please touch is the rule. Join us for weekly science demonstrations on space, lasers, lizards, rocks, and a whole lot more. No two visits are ever the same, so visit often to see our ever-changing exhibits and demonstrations. The Hands-On Science Center, 101 Mitchell Boulevard in Tullahoma.
Are you ready?
Yep.
Click the links.
Oh, sweet Lisa, you're so fine, like a very fine wine. Girl, I need you in my life. Will you be my wife?
Charter Internet has more bandwidth to support all your devices. Experience the power of Charter on the nation's fastest internet.
Welcome back. I'm so pleased to be on the set today with a group from the Manchester Arts Center, and they're representing the Teen Actors Guild. Have I got all that right?
Yes.
And they're in a production in Manchester, and on my left I have Paige Likens, and you are in Into the Woods. Is that correct?
Yes.
And when does that come off?
It opens next weekend, August 2nd, and then it goes on to August 11th.
And Nick Mullins, you're here playing the baker in the show.
Yes, ma'am.
And this is your lovely wife, the baker's wife, Christina Bunting. Did I have that right?
Yes.
And how long have you all been practicing? Several weeks?
We started rehearsing, did we start in May?
We started in May.
Yeah, we started in May. So, and now it's almost time. So let's get a phone number up so people can, do you have it? The phone number? All right. Maybe they'll pick it up in the back and put it on the screen. What is it?
You can call us at 931-570-4489.
Okay, did you guys get it? I hope so. Maybe it'll show up. If it doesn't, we'll do it again. Anyway, the play opens when?
It opens next weekend.
And the following weekend, you're doing 6 productions?
Yes.
7:30, and then a Sunday, 2 p.m.?
Yes.
And big cast?
We have around 25 cast members.
And they're all teens. Is that that's the rule?
That's the rule.
Probably college and high school?
Yes.
And that's wonderful.
Most of our mains are going into college or are already in college, but they're still in the teens.
They're still in their teens. I know that Nick has been in the theater a long time. What was your first production?
My first production was Pinocchio at the Manchester Arts Center in 2004.
2004, and I've seen you up there a lot, doing a lot of things, and you've been a great addition to the group. And how about you? When did you start out with the theater?
I guess my first production was in 8th grade at the middle school. I did The Beatles Slept Here and actually played a boy.
Oh, good. And so you got hooked.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's wonderful. Many times I've said that when I first came to Tullahoma, we were the only theater in town, and now they're all over the region, and I think that's magnificent. Make sure we've got the right number. You see it on the screen?
Yes.
Okay. All right, if you want a ticket, how much are tickets?
The tickets are $16 for adults if you just buy them at the door, but if you buy online, they're $13 for adults.
That's a good deal.
It's a good deal. And then for students, it is $14 if you buy at the door, but $11 if you buy online.
Wow.
And we also have student VIP passes that if you use them, it's $8 for students.
That's marvelous, and that encourages more students to come out.
Yes, that's why we do that.
I know that we have at least one song from Into the Woods, but before I have you do that, who can give me a little synopsis of what Into the Woods is about? I know you play Cinderella, and I didn't mention that before.
I think I could do it.
Yeah, I think you
can. Okay, Nick.
Into the Woods basically focuses around the baker and his wife, and they have been under a spell by this witch, and they just want to have a child. So to get this child, they have to go into the woods to find all these objects. And in the woods, they meet up with Jack and Cinderella and Little Red Riding Hood and all these fairy tale creatures. And it's really fun. It's really
I've
cool.
seen it, and it's been some time, and it's a very cleverly written production.
It really is.
And very different from your average musical production of some years ago. What song are you going to sing?
We're going to sing It Takes Two.
It Takes Two. And did it take all three of you to sing it?
It takes two. This just takes two.
Okay, just takes two. Okay. And this is from Into the Woods.
We're changing, I'm leaving you in the woods. Who minds what dangers? I know we'll get past the woods. And once we're past, let's hope the changes last. Beyond woods, beyond witches and slippers and hoods. Just the two of us beyond lies. Safe at home with our beautiful prize. Just a few of us, it takes trust. It takes just a bit more than we're done. We want 4, we had none, we got 3. We need 1, it takes 2.
Love it. Great job. So, the London people don't have anything on you in this play. No. Okay. Well, we know that it opens this weekend, and you're all ready for dress rehearsal probably. You're into that already. And it's, I know the auditorium is so nice. There's no bad seats.
Oh, not at all.
So, I know, do you have reserved seats anyway?
Yes, yeah, we do.
But I know anytime I've been there, it didn't matter where I sat, it was a good seat. The acoustics are wonderful. And I know you have a lot of people helping. Let's say, who's the director?
Her name is Rachel Parker.
And has she directed a lot before?
This is actually her first musical.
That's wonderful. Yeah. That's a big undertaking. And the musical director would be?
We have 2. We have Robert Hires and Gwen Davis.
Oh, I know both those people. And I know Robert Hires really well. When Robert takes on a project, you can depend on it being awesome.
Oh, yeah.
Well, I know you're excited about opening. Don't forget, it's this weekend and next weekend. Friday, Saturday, Sunday matinee, correct? Does your matinee start at 2?
Yes.
So call that number on the screen and get your tickets for Into the Woods. We'll be back.
Are you a shoeanista with no place local to find your style? Well, now you don't have to travel any further than Bren's Shoe Boutique, located at the Village on Jackson, 1940 North Jackson Street, Suite 120 in Tullahoma. From funky to formal, you can find the fit and style that will make you smile at Bren's. A shoeanista herself, owner Brenda Kemp offers brands like Rocket Dog, Jessica Simpson, Mia, Nine West, J. Renee, Bandolino, and more. Want that accessory splash that none of your friends have? Bren's offers a selection of one-of-a-kind handbags and jewelry with just the right bling. So if your shoe selection doesn't stack up, find what you've been looking for at a price you can afford at Bren's Shoe Boutique, now open in Tullahoma.
Hi, this is Peter, and I work for the American Red Cross. During events like this, people are always asking how they can help. For just an hour of your time, and a little stick in the arm, you too can help save a life. There's always a constant need for blood. Make an appointment with the American Red Cross and donate some blood. Call 1-800-RED-CROSS or go online to redcrossblood.org. Thank you.
The Charter Triple Play lets you experience TV, internet, and phone the way you want with no contracts. Hooked on HD? Now over 100 HD channels available. Movie lover? Get 10,000 on-demand movies and shows. 1,500 in HD, including movies in 3D. Missing your favorite shows? Record and watch TV with DVR service for 4 rooms and over 780 hours of storage space. Get Charter TV for $29.99 a month. Photo Fiend, Music Fan, Video Streamer? Switch to super fast Charter Internet and do it all with the bandwidth to support all your devices. At 30 megabits per second, Charter Internet is 10 times faster than the phone company's DSL. Get Charter Internet for $29.99 a month. Want more talk for less? Charter Phone has unlimited long-distance calling with no added fees like the phone company charges. Get Charter Phone for $29.99 a month. The new Charter Triple Play. TV, internet, and phone for just $29.99 a month each when bundled. Call 855-81-T-PLAY now.
All right, we're back, and this town for years and years, and I've been here for years and years, has a rich and honored history in swimming. Matter of fact, Joel Farrell and Craig Farrell lived in my neighborhood, and Craig and I were very good friends, and I miss him very, very, very dearly. But Joel Farrell, the Joel Farrell swimming pool in Tullahoma was named for those people that came to Tullahoma, and it was when a lot of the folks had left Oak Ridge in the 50s after World War II and came to Tullahoma for the building of Arnold Center. And these people were athletes, and they were swimmers, and they developed the swimming program, the Tullahoma Swim Club. And right now we have Miss Sandra DeWolf. I got it right, didn't I? And Chesley, Murley. I want to call her Murray still all the time, but her last name now is Lee.
Right.
And she's married to the wonderful Dr. Lee.
Thank you.
And they're here today to talk about how important it is for our town to retain its swimming history, and how much we need a competition 50-meter swimming pool to where we can bring hundreds and thousands of kids and family members to Tullahoma again to have swim meets. Ta-da!
Well, currently we do not have a competition pool.
Right.
Our pool is not set up to be a competition pool. The outdoor pool was, but it is really, really needs to be a competition pool. It brings hundreds of kids who bring their families and their siblings, and it brings a lot of people to our town that a kiddie pool, a water park would not bring.
Right, and two, when our outdoor pool was condemned, we started having swim meets in the indoor pool. And then, of course, when that was condemned and had to be redone, it was done incorrectly. And so now it's unusable for any competitions, so that we can't have any competitions either indoor or outdoor. Our lane
So where are
ropes,
you going? Where are you having them?
we have to have them in Manchester or Winchester or Shelbyville or McMinnville. So we travel.
They all have competition pools.
Yes, all the surrounding cities have competition pools. So we can't, Tullahoma is not represented there. We have to go somewhere else.
And buy hamburgers.
Right.
And maybe have to get some gas.
Right.
Might shop while you're there.
Absolutely, we do actually. When we go down to Scottsboro, we pretty much our whole team goes and shops and eats in Scottsboro, or like in Shelbyville, we'll go to a Shelbyville restaurant and eat. And I think what people need to realize is that these meets bring in huge amounts of people. When we had our competition pool outside, there were up to 800 swimmers that would come to these meets, and they were 2-day meets. So you're talking about 800 swimmers, their parents, even grandparents and siblings staying in Tullahoma overnight at hotels, and they filled up the hotels when they were here, and eating at our restaurants, shopping at our shops. And I have a hard time seeing how a splash pool would bring in that many people to our town, spending money in our shops and staying in our hotels and eating in our restaurants.
Well, what's happened is in the last tax increase, for you people out there who haven't been keeping up, and I know it's a busy world and everybody doesn't keep up with everything that's going on, but there was a 25-cent tax increase. Of that 25-cent tax increase, 5 cents of it was to go to pay for the roof on the high school and to build a new water facility. So the money has been approved to do this. Now what the city has done is they have hired an engineering group to design a facility or multiple facilities, because I think there's been enough said about the competition pool and about the need for swimming. And one of the things that you brought out at the board meeting last night that I didn't even think about prior to is the fact that so many children need to learn to swim, and there's nowhere in this town to give swimming lessons unless you do it at a private in your backyard. And don't want to get into the city versus whatever, how that's come about, but they're not taking place right now.
Right.
It's a very important thing. A lot of children drowned each year. More die in automobile accidents. Next thing is drowning for our children. So we have to have a facility to teach them how to swim.
Something you mentioned that it was really touching. Sandra and I were talking about it before, but at the meet that we were at 2 weeks ago, we went to our big competition meet, and there was a child there in a wheelchair who was able to compete on level with all of his peers, because water is such a great modality for those kids.
Right.
And Sandra has a child with a disability who can't compete in other sports, but is able to compete with her peers at a high level. Because water is such a great modality.
She wouldn't be able to any other sport because of the impact.
Right.
So, but with swimming, she loves it and can do it.
And another thing was brought up that swimmers usually swim for life. It's hard to play football forever. It's hard to play baseball forever. You can play tennis for a long time. You can play golf for a long time. You can swim for a long time. And it's wonderful for your health. What we want to do, the point we want to get across here, folks, is as the city is going through this planning process, there will be probably opportunities for all of you to make a statement or let your voice be heard as to what type of facility you would like to see brought to Tullahoma. And these ladies would like to make sure, along with the rest of the folks with the Tullahoma swim team, that you find it needy and wonderful to have a competition swimming pool in Tullahoma, and do whatever else you need to in conjunction with it.
Right.
But we need a competition swimming pool. Right?
Absolutely.
We do.
Okay. Thank you so much for being with us, and keep walking on.
Okay.
And keep your banner high. And we'll see if we can pull this off. Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you very
You're
much.
welcome. We'll be back after these messages.
Looking for a unique gift for someone special, or perhaps something just for yourself? Then you need to check out Grady Mac Denim Company, right here in the heart of Tullahoma. Grady Mac features the full line of men's and women's Lucky brand apparel. Stop in and check out our denim production line. Grady Mac offers a full line of outdoor sporting apparel and much more. And check out our custom fly fishing equipment, fine art, and fine sports memorabilia. There's something for everyone at Grady Mac Denim Company, the most unique store in Tullahoma.
What's a Tennessee vacation? It starts off like any road trip, and then, boom, adventure and thrills everywhere you look, which happens to be some of the most beautiful scenery in the country. Music here, history there, and all kinds of green in between. Come relax and unwind, or bring the crowd for some stargazing, or stargazing. Whatever you do, come hungry and expect an awesome soundtrack. It's all right here in Tennessee. We're playing your song. For a free vacation guide, visit tnvacation.com.
The Charter Triple Play lets you experience TV, internet, and phone the way you want with no contracts. Hooked on HD? Now over 100 HD channels available. Movie lover? Get 10,000 on-demand movies and shows, 1,500 in HD, including movies in 3D. Missing your favorite shows? Record and watch TV with DVR service for 4 rooms and over 780 hours of storage space. Get Charter TV for $29.99 a month. Photo Fiend, Music Fan, Video Streamer? Switch to super fast Charter Internet and do it all with the bandwidth to support all your devices. At 30 megabits per second, Charter Internet is 10 times faster than the phone company's DSL. Get Charter Internet for $29.99 a month. Want more talk for less? Charter Phone has unlimited long-distance calling with no added fees like the phone company charges. Get Charter Phone for $29.99 a month. The new Charter Triple Play. TV, internet, and phone for just $29.99 a month each when bundled. Call 855-81-T-PLAY now.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, and we're pleased to have joining us on this show the executive producer of What a Horse, and that's where he spends most of his time, and that's our partner here in P-Head Productions, Jerry Harris. And Jerry's got a great idea, I think, that he's wanting to preview. He's going to preview on this show today. So, John, wherever you are, you probably haven't heard this, and I haven't heard a lot about it.
John has.
John's heard it. Okay, all right. So,
quite often.
So,
it all boils down to, Jim, that I'm riding around. I do go to a lot of barns.
Mm-hmm.
I see a lot of signs, property for sale. I started noticing more and more for sale by owner signs.
Mm-hmm.
And I got to thinking that I've even passed some that the other day coming to Shelbyville. I said, well, that house for sale. And CJ told me, he said, well, Jerry, that thing's been out there for months. I said, it has. I'd never noticed it. But what I'm saying, if an owner puts their house up for sale, they do it to save money, but they also do it to save. And I've seen a ton of these house for sale signs. So what I thought that would be good if we went out and gave them an opportunity to advertise these houses at a reasonable cost.
Mm-hmm.
And that's normally why people want to sell their house themselves. They want to save some money. And by going out and videoing, and we've got a sample of a video that I'm talking about, they can have a commercial done on their house, air it in all the surrounding counties, and the show will air for a month.
And that's including Tullahoma, right?
No, including Tullahoma, Manchester, Winchester, a third of Franklin County, Shelbyville, Lincoln County, up in Warren County, Wartrace, Bell Buckle. People that wouldn't normally ride down that street, or the other day I seen one down a dead-end street.
Mm-hmm.
Now, the only people going to see that's people that's there.
Mm-hmm.
So this way they can bring attention to their house, put their phone number out there to let people see it. Then they come to see it. And I believe we've got a video that we have done for one that we are offering. And if that's ready, let's show them the video of the house that we have for sale right now. And I believe...
Have you heard that little voice that beckons you to come home to Tennessee? Well, here's your chance. Here's a property offered by its owner. It's 20 miles from the National Walking Horse Celebration grounds in Shelbyville, Tennessee, and only 10 minutes away from the Jack Daniel Distillery in Lynchburg. It's located at 769 Shipman Creek Road. This property has over a 5,300 square foot home on 45 acres, and a sprawling 200 acres is also available. Let's take a look at the house. Built in 1998, this home has 4 bedrooms and 3.5 baths. This home offers wide open views, featuring the main floor with over 2,700 square feet of living room, an eat-in kitchen, a formal dining area, and a massive 20 by 19 master bedroom with a master bath and fireplace included. There is craftsmanship at every turn, solid cherry cabinets, built-in cherry shelves, and other solid cherry appointments. It's a 2-story home with 3 nicely sized bedrooms upstairs. Down a spiral staircase, the basement hosts a 40 by 40 den with a handcrafted bar. We're leaving the jukebox here, folks. The basement is a recreation room on steroids. There are too many closets to count and more than you'll ever need. There are so many places in this home to find peace that you'll seldom want to leave it. But when you do, you'll discover up to 200 acres of paved roads with city water. The property is quilted with streams, woods, ponds, and open pasture. The view from the porch alone is enough to say you're home. The property includes a 3-bay heavy construction shop and plenty of room to build stables and graze livestock. If Tennessee's been calling you home, start your journey by calling this number. A property like this comes on the market but once in a lifetime. We think you'll love it. We think you'll stay. This is a very real estate.
All right, and that's a pretty good size home there.
Oh, yeah. But, I mean, we can do all sizes.
Sure.
Jimmy. And the thing is that people get a view of it, and that's a very inviting video of that house. It gives all the specifics. It shows the property, how it looks. And I just think that something like this, if you air it, it's going to draw a whole lot more attention to the house. Plus, the cost will be a whole lot less if an owner sells that house themselves.
And we've actually been advertising that particular house for a little while now on What a Horse.
Right.
And the owner, I think he might have even had it with a realtor, but that's a kind of rather expensive house there. But he chose to purchase advertising from us as well on that house.
But it pays for itself. There are several people that I know that have called about that house. Now, if anybody is listening and they're interested in putting their house on the market themselves, they can call 931-581-4411. I will talk to them. I'll explain exactly how it works. The great part about it is that you don't pay a lot of money out front. You pay it after you sell your house. So it's a good deal for the homeowner. It gets their house out there to get them more people to view it. And I guarantee a lot more people will see it on TV than they will see it riding down the street.
And not only that, they'll see it on our regular programming, I assume, and is your plan. They'll see it on there, but most of all of our stuff now is on the internet, Facebook, internet, and so you'll be able to see it there as well.
Yeah, we'll have it all over the place, and we'll leave it up there until it is sold.
Okay, and that's Jerry's phone number there, so call Jerry, and he will personally explain to you how that whole program works. All right, Jerry, thank you so much for stopping by today. We'll be right back, ladies and gentlemen, right after these messages.
On the train test range, the search for any possible weakness continues. It's hard to stop a train. Really hard. Train, the most reliable for a reason.
Hello, my name is Joe Stroop with Stroop's Accurate Refrigeration. I'm here to talk to you about a couple incentives that are going on between now and end of the year. First is your federal tax credit up to $300. Secondly, 0% financing up to 15 months on XL products. Third, spring promotion up to $1,100. Finally, $500 incentives from your local power distributor. Please give us a call at 455-8757. Thank you.
So you've been meaning to do something healthy, commune with nature, get outdoors, and meet new people. We have the perfect solution. Come hike with us. You can find a Tennessee Trails Association chapter near you, including Clarksville, Columbia Franklin, Cove Lake, Highland Rim, Jackson, Knoxville, Oak Ridge, Martin Wheatley, Memphis, Murfreesboro, Nashville, Plateau at Crossville, Rugby in the Big South Fork, and Upper Cumberland. We're on the web at TennesseeTrails.org. It's fun, it's stress-free, and it's good for you. See you on the trails.
If you like HDTV, you're going to like what Charter's been up to. Adding so much free HD that Charter TV is a whole new experience. National Geographic HD, Animal Planet HD, Discovery HD, sports in HD, movies, news, kids programming. Plus, Charter now has thousands of free movies and shows in HD on demand anytime. You want to see more TV in HD? Try Charter. It's smarter.
Hello, I'm Benny Garrick, and this is Coffee County Memories and More. My co-host is David Pennington. Hello, Dave.
Afternoon.
And our guest today is George Smith. And we're at the model airplane field out on the access road next to Arnold Air Force Golf Course. And they've got some fantastic models here, and George is going to tell us some things about them. George, you're on.
Okay. 3 or 4 times a year we have different events that we specialize, like today was Warbird. So anything that flew in any of the skies during any war or even after the wars, any military airplane is out here and featured, and they fly it, and the pilots judge on which one looks the best and which one flew the best. The next one will be August 24th, which is the giant scale. The giant scale is anything from 80-inch wingspan up. And we have, I believe we're going to have around 70 pilots. Some of them are world-class champions that fly 3D or extreme aerobatics, doing things that planes don't normally do. You can get into a remote control airplane with the radio, the charger, the battery, everything you need to go out and fly for $89 at any of your local hobby stores. This here is an entry-level plane. It's put out by Park Zone. It's $89 at any of the hobby stores. It comes with the plane, batteries, charger, radio. All you have to do is just pick it up, charge it, and fly it. So the RC hobby is not expensive to get into. Right over here is a T-28 Trojan. It is made of styrofoam. $280 will buy you the plane, the charger, the battery, the radio. The nice thing is with this, it will fly pretty much like any of the airplanes you'll see today. It will do all the stunts. It's a good trainer. It's practically indestructible. And as you progress, the radio can be used for other airplanes. With that small $89 one, the radio can only be used for that plane. So to me, this would be the safest and most economical way to get into the hobby. This is Tom Bolnoy. He's in for our Warbird event today. He's got one of the prettiest planes I've ever seen.
This is a 1/3 scale of a 1918 Sopwith Pup, which was a World War I fighter airplane, a successful World War I fighter airplane.
But tell us about, like, the interior. Looks like I mean, you've got this thing scaled out. I mean, that's actually how the dash look. This is actually how the wing, I mean, everything, right?
Everything about this, I tried to make it as scale as I could according to the real airplane. The cockpit has the correct gauges in it. The spacing of the wing ribs are correct. It's got a lot of details on it that doesn't come normal.
Well, with the front of the engine cowl and stuff, is that how they were too? Aluminum?
It was aluminum, yes. It was aluminum.
It's got a wooden prop on it with the brass tips.
It has brass tips on it. The engine that was in this was 80 horsepower in the real airplane. It turned 350 RPM. And the payload for this airplane was only 80 pounds.
80 pounds, and that's with the pilot, I believe.
Well, I think, no, with the pilot, I think it's 80 pounds.
Okay.
So that didn't leave much for armament or fuel, or, it was a very crude airplane in its day.
But it was an early plane too, wasn't it?
Well, 1918, but only been flying 10 years or 11 years at that time, so it hasn't had time to evolve. And
we're with Whitney. Where are you from, Whitney?
I'm from Nolensville by way of Poughkeepsie, New York. We just moved down. We just moved
now,
down
wait a minute,
here.
They're not very close together.
No, they're not. No, they're not. We moved. We just moved down here.
And this is your plane right here.
This is my Corsair. This is a Meister scale Corsair.
Let me get on this side.
Meister being the original designer, now sold by Dino DiGiorgio. It's a 100-inch wingspan Corsair powered by a Moki 150 radial. It's a 4-stroke gasoline radial engine. The airplane weighs about 42 pounds. It has flaps and retracts. The flaps are run off the radio. The retracts are pneumatic.
And retracts, that's retractable wheels.
Retractable landing gear.
For the people that don't.
Right. And the Corsair is a little unique. You notice the bent wing.
Mm-hmm.
It was a carrier airplane flown by the Navy and the Marines in World War II, and they bent the wings down to shorten the landing gear strut, so that on the rough carrier landings could take the pounding. The gear rotates 90 degrees back up into the wing. So the wheel rotates backward, then comes up flat into the wing. It's about a 42-pound airplane. It has 2 battery packs running 2 receivers, and then it's flown by my Airtronics SD-10G radio. It's a 10-channel radio that manages the 4 primary flight surfaces, your ailerons, elevators, rudder, etc., and then the retractable gear, the throttle, and the flaps.
How fast would this plane fly?
I'm not quite sure. 60 miles an hour easily. Probably faster than that in the dive. With the flaps, it can probably land as slow as 30 miles an hour. I mean, it really comes in pretty slowly. It's been a pleasure to fly it. We're still sorting out a couple of things with the engine, but it's a lot of fun.
This is Bobby Elliott. He's been flying about 1.5 years. Helicopters are extremely hard to fly, and this man is unbelievable. He lives here in Tullahoma, and he likes to share his knowledge, let everybody know how much he knows. So Bobby, tell us about your helicopter here.
This is the Goblin 770. It's one of the bigger 800 class helicopters. It's an electric helicopter. Like I said, it's one of the bigger ones. It's like flying a big baby. It's pretty easy to fly. Well, gentle. It's not easy to fly, but it's gentle compared to a lot of the other helicopters.
How much does it weigh?
This is about 10 pounds with batteries and everything.
You ready to watch him fly?
Yes, we're standing now with Ben Jenkins. He's 14 years old. I'm going to let him tell you a little about himself and what competitions he's flown in.
All right, I'm 14, as he said. I've been flying for about 8 years now, and last year I went to Triple-Tree in South Carolina and flew an IMAC, which is just competing for how well each pilot flies, and I'm actually going to one next weekend. So
are you ready to get the show on the road here?
Let's do it.
Or in the air. I should say in the air, right?
Sure.
All right, let's do it. Hi, I'm Don Cleveland, President of the Coffee Airfoilers. We appreciate the video and appreciate you guys looking in. Today we have had what we call a Warbird event. It's a fly-in of local flyers in the Middle Tennessee area, and all the planes are of a war vintage, World War I, World War II, Korea, or modern era. And we have everything from electrics to gas-powered planes. And we had about 37 pilots from the Middle Tennessee area.
Let the Smokehouse be your mountain getaway destination in beautiful Monteagle, Tennessee. Enjoy our cabins, restaurant, and old general store. Shop thesmokehouse.com featuring homemade barbecue sauces, jellies, and many other fine Tennessee products. Our live Music on the Mountain series features some of the best local and Nashville talent every Friday and Saturday night, 6:30 p.m. No cover, kids welcome.
The highest standard of trust offers a sense of safety and comfort. It's established over time. You know when you see it. You know when you feel it. There's a standard of trust in healthcare. It's the Joint Commission Gold Seal of Approval. In 2003, Life Care Center of Tullahoma voluntarily achieved this accreditation and maintains it still today. Life Care, meeting a higher standard because residents matter most.
Family's
favorite shows shouldn't have to fight to be seen. With Charter, you get 4 DVRs, so now every family member can watch what they want, when they want, where they want, without any battles. Call now to get DVR service for your home.
All right, we're back, and I have the illustrious Mr. Winston Brooks on with me today. And Winston is the communications director for the city of Tullahoma, and has been in that position now for, has it been more than a year now, hasn't it?
Close to a year now.
Close to a year, and Winston, I'm just tickled to death that Winston's here. I think Winston's doing a great job.
Well, thank you.
Getting the information out there to the city and helping keep the mayor and Jody and all of them straight up there, marching to the line.
You're giving me too much credit.
Yes.
I'm having a lot of fun and love talking about Tullahoma. A lot of great things going on in the city.
Yeah. Well, what's up now? You got it coming.
Yeah. Well, this Saturday, July 27th, we've got 2 events that you can take advantage of. It's important to keep the city clean, and so our first event this Saturday, depending on which one you want to do, is the summer cleanup. And we meet at 8 o'clock down at Public Works to get your assignment and supplies, which is over on Maplewood Avenue if you've never done the cleanup before. And you can work from 8 till noon, or as much time or as little time as possible.
As long as you want to.
Great opportunity for volunteers, churches, groups, civic organizations.
Which always fun too, because they have coffee and donuts down there, and sausage and biscuits, and
that's right.
And everybody gets together early in the morning and
it makes a
visits
difference
a little bit, and goes out and takes on a section or a zone, and planting flowers. I know sometimes in the spring they'll plant flowers in different boxes and stuff, and a lot of young people. And it makes them proud.
Yeah, it looks good.
Because they picked up more garbage than the next group did.
That's right.
And it's a competition type
friendly
thing.
Competition.
Yeah.
And it makes a difference, too, that people can see when they come out and see the city. And if there's a particular spot that you notice that's, we call them hot spots, that needs some attention, please call Public Works ahead of time. The number there is 454-1768. And they'll take your information, and we'll get a team down there to help start cleaning it up. Of course, you clean the city up anytime you feel like it, but at this day, the city does provide the supplies and the camaraderie and the refreshments. So it's a great event.
It's fun.
Yeah.
It's fun.
And
then after that, what do you get?
And then at 9 o'clock on Saturday morning, if you can see this, Ride with the Mayor at Robert E. Lee. This is a part of the Get Fit Tullahoma initiative, and he has been embarking this summer on these little community neighborhood bike rides to bring people out and get your bicycle all tuned up and come out and socialize for a little while. And then they're going to meet at 9 a.m. at Robert E. Lee and make a short, about a 4-mile ride through the neighborhood. And these have been pretty fun events. Have about 20 people. We'd like to see more come out and ride. And it's also sponsored by the Highland Rim Bicycle Club. They've been real helpful in organizing these events. And they've got a really neat feature or app on their website, hrbike.org. And if you go on there, they'll have the route mapped out, and you can ride over it with your finger, and it shows the elevation. I mean, it's really something what they've done. Yeah, it's a lot of fun. And so come on out and visit with the mayor and your neighborhood friends, and take a little ride, get fit. Early morning, Saturday, 9 a.m. And if you have any questions about that,
then ride on over and pick up some garbage.
And pick up some garbage. And bring your helmet, and you can call for more information at 455-2648. And the other thing that we've got going on is part of the Get Fit Tullahoma. And you may have seen where we were successful in getting a grant from the State Health Department to help support our efforts there. And so that's really exciting what's going to be happening here soon. And so I want to tell your viewers to watch for more information, to get involved. What we're going to be doing, there's 2 parts. One is we're going to be building 3 fitness trails at elementary schools here. And once we complete that, then the school system will have a walking track or a fitness trail at each facility. So
that's great.
Yeah, that's great. That's great. We're going to like that. And the fitness trail is about a 3/4 of a mile long. It has fitness stops along the way. And these are going to be great for the kids during the day, but also be a great community spot in the evening for people to come out and get a little exercise.
That's wonderful.
The other part of the project that we've got, and it's a county-wide initiative, but it was really spurred on by Mayor Curley's initiative that started earlier this year called Get Fit. And there's a huge epidemic in this country for obesity and diabetes. And in fact, in Tennessee, 1 in 3 adults are now obese. And in Coffee County is 38th in terms of their health out of 95 counties. And it's just shocking when you start to look at these trends. I was visiting with Rick Canada, who is a director of the obesity project at the state, and he explained to me, and this is interesting when you think about it, when they started tracking the data in the late 80s to now, he said, what do you think's changed? And, well, in the 80s you had cable TV, you had the development of video games, internet, and then you had women returning to the workforce, which began to kill the family dinner and the food that's cooked there. And so when you start looking at the availability of all these medias, that's why we've led to a more sedentary life. And so anyways, this is a push to get people get fit, get out, and reverse those trends.
Keep watching for that.
Keep watching, that's right. And we've got a lot of great partners. Joe McCamey from Markham's Pharmacy and a whole list of other partners are going to be putting on these programs, kind of like a Lose to Win, or Biggest Loser. It's actually called Lose to Win.
Yeah.
And it's going to be a great program.
Okay. Got to go.
Thank you.
Appreciate you.
You bet.
Come back. Doing a great job.
Man.
We'll be back after these messages.
It's time to celebrate. You don't have to drive to the city for your party supplies anymore. The Celebrate Party Store has opened at 1802 North Jackson Street in Tullahoma to service all your party needs. Over 300 varieties of balloons, party favors, gift wrap, boxes, bags, bows, plates, napkins, tablecloths, and cups of all colors. Catering supplies from utensils to serving dishes, Wilton cake decorating supplies, and chocolate melts. Wedding, baby shower, bachelorette party, and themed birthday party supplies from any sport to Hollywood. From a luau to Hello Kitty, Celebrate has it all. Hats, masks, patriotic decorations, piñatas, confetti cannons, and full-size celebrity cutouts, and a whole wall of greeting cards at 50% off. Celebrate is home-owned and operated by John and Karen Orr, who invite you to come in and see what they have. You won't believe your eyes because they have it all. Start your celebration at Celebrate, 1802 Suite 820, North Jackson Street, Tullahoma, 931-455-5550.
Charter Internet has the bandwidth to support more devices than anyone else in the market. So everyone can do their own thing, whether it's watching puppy videos or creating an all-powerful command center to mastermind the complete domination of the world, the universe, and, ooh, ice cream!
Get 30 megabits per second for only $30 and let it all in.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, and we're pleased to have joining us on the set now Dr. Dan Lawson, Superintendent of Tullahoma City Schools, and we've got him here to talk about a couple of things about the education program at the high school or in the school system. But first of all, I want to we talked about this at the beginning of the show. You had 2 Tullahoma High School seniors who were first and second in the outstanding
distinguished young woman of Tennessee.
That's phenomenal. I don't think it's ever happened before.
In fact, 55-year history of the program, that's never happened before. That is our goal as a community to not necessarily compete with the state, but compete with ourselves, knowing that we are among the best. And the 2 young ladies, both Ms. Miller and Ms. Vance, proved that this week, and we're terribly proud of them.
And not only that, that's the 3rd time in the last 8 years that that somebody from Tullahoma has won that award.
3rd time in 8 years that we've had a state winner. This is big stuff.
Unbelievable.
Absolutely.
And I also read somewhere that Dr. Lawson is the interview coach in that program or something like that?
We, as you can guess, I don't have a lot of problem in dialoguing. I'm quite comfortable in this, so we try to assist the kids, but we have great raw material with which to work, and they do a marvelous job.
Okay, all right. That's something we really can be proud of. Now, you've got some new, well, I guess this is not a new program. Edline is not necessarily a new program, but it's not something that's widely known about.
Yeah, I think in keeping with the theme of communications, Edline is something terribly important for our community to understand. Edline provides 3,400 kids with a digital grade book. So as a parent, I'm able to log on to my child's digital gradebook. I'm able to see where he is behind. I'm able to see assignments that are undone. I'm able to check on his status in real time. Edline is a terribly valuable tool for communications, for interaction, both from the teacher to the parent and from the parent back to the teacher. So we think it really enhances our communications. It enhances the accountability that we have in place, and it is free for our parents. The important message I'd like folks to have is that on the 14th, we're going to send home passwords to get onto Edline. Not a new program. It's something that we've had for a while, but we really are attempting to make sure that everyone knows how to utilize, everyone's comfortable, and everyone is making that happen. Then on the 15th, we're live. We're going to have training sessions at the high school for those who are interested in the program, but not quite to the level of comfort that they think they're ready to do it on their own. So we're going to provide training at the high school. We would love to have calls. We'd love to have communications, because we know for our children to be successful, it takes their hard work, it takes the investment of dedicated professionals, and it takes that parental support and accountability that's important. It's not one piece that makes schools happen, but it's those three legs that are critical. And we're excited about that rollout and think it's going to make a real difference in our community.
Okay, and that's there's no excuse for not keeping up with your child's progress now, because you guys have made it very easy. And I would imagine that puts a little pressure on the teachers to keep those things upgraded or updated, rather.
Certainly, as a parent, I'm able to look at teacher A versus teacher B and see that somebody's up to date, somebody is more current, and it's an accountability tool for everyone involved. Back when you and I were in school, we had a grade card that we took home, maybe, if we had to. And today, that accountability is quite different. It's not about a grade card after the fact. Instead, it's about something that's dynamic, that I can know about quickly enough that we can address deficiencies, or we can commend great work.
Okay, and I would imagine the parents participating in this process is helpful to the kids. Is that correct?
Absolutely. I think in any endeavor, it doesn't matter if you're a kindergartner or a graduate student in college, that parent partnership encouraging positive things in the educational endeavor is terribly important.
Let's move now to Common Core training, which is something that I think your teachers, several teachers, have just completed.
We've had over 100 teachers this summer participate in Common Core training, and we'll talk more later in a later show about the Common Core. But just as a brief, Common Core is a set of standards that's been adopted by 45 states. Common Core is not a national curriculum, but it is in fact a national set of standards. Local boards of education are empowered in many states to make curricular decisions. So if we talk about a parallel, we're talking about Common Core is where we want to go. The curriculum is how we get there. So as we look at what we're doing with Common Core, we're providing training so our folks understand what the Common Core is, how it will be measured, and our first measurement of Common Core, our first assessment, will take place in 2014-15. So we're a year away from full implementation, but something of this magnitude really takes some time, really takes some effort, and we would encourage parents, we'd encourage community members to contact their school, dialogue with the school about what's going on with Common Core, and develop a better understanding. If you want a quick summary of what Common Core looks like, go to www.10core.org, www.10core.org, and it's got a great summary from the State Department level of what Common Core is.
Okay, outstanding. Boy, you got that in right under the wire.
I knew the X was coming.
They cautioned Dan and I that we only had 6 minutes or something like that. Good job. Dan, thank you so much for coming by. It's always a pleasure to see you. Ladies and gentlemen, we'll be right back with more living right after these messages.
I thought Red Cross does Katrina. They don't help single moms.
Hi.
What happened to our house last year about your birthday?
It flooded and the water flooded out. Yeah.
The Red Cross arranged a hotel for us. They gave me that break, that leverage to be able to get it together and take care of them, you know. I feel like we've come full circle.
This is how I'll do it.
There you go.
Partners for Healing provides medical care to the working uninsured of Coffee, Franklin, and Moore counties. We are in Tullahoma from 8 to 5, Monday through Thursdays, and in Manchester on Fridays from 8 to 12. We provide primary medical care and offer an in-house disease management program.
My name is Rosie Mitchell, and I would just like to say I am blessed to have partners in my life.
Please call 455-5014 for more information. Thank you for being one of our Partners for Healing.
A salute to the never wasters, the coupon clippers, switch flippers, one last drop of milk drippers, the thoughtfully thrifty, and the just plain cheap. Charter respects your economic IQ and honors it with a phone service worthy of your ever watchful wallet. Charter Phone, just $19.99 a month for real monthly savings for fabulously frugal folks like you. Switch to Charter Phone and get unlimited local and long distance and 13 calling features with no extra fees like the phone company charges you.
Welcome back. It's party time on the Hill at Jack Daniels. Is that right?
Yes, ma'am.
I have with me Belle Royton today, and she's from Partners for Healing, and we're going to talk about an event that's coming soon.
Oh, it's coming very quickly. Yes, in about 2.5 weeks. I'm with Partners for Healing, and we do an annual fundraiser. And our annual fundraiser this year is Healing on the Hill. And
what a nice title.
Isn't it nice? I think so too.
Healing on the Hill. That's
We're
good.
going up on Barbecue Hill at Jack Daniels. They have graciously allowed us to come up there on August the 9th. That is a Friday evening from 6:30 until 10 o'clock.
We need to put a phone number up. People need reservations,
really bad.
don't they?
We need reservations. We'll have to have your money first in order to hold those reservations. It's 455-5014. Money counts, and so you'll need to go ahead and pay up front. The reservations tickets are $65 each or $120 for two. And what we've got coming up that evening, we have a live auction, as many times we do. We have barbecue and catfish.
And
their signature
that ticket
peach
includes
cobbler.
all that, right?
Oh yes, their signature peach cobbler at Jack Daniels. And then we are so fortunate as to have the Rigney Family Bluegrass Band from here. They're coming out
They
there.
are awesome.
Oh my
you know,
goodness,
they don't just
yes.
do bluegrass. They do a little jazz, a little blues. They are wonderful.
Oh my goodness, yes. I've known them for several years personally, had never heard them until just recently. And I
they
was
put on
just
a great
blown
show.
away. Just
I'm
blown
so
away.
proud of what they do, and that sounds like a great evening.
Oh, it's going to be amazing.
I know it's going to be wonderful, and we might want to put a 931 in front of that because we have a few people that maybe
Are out of the area code?
are out of the area code. So anyway, it's nice to call in and make your reservations. And you're looking for sponsorships?
We are looking for sponsorships. Partners for Healing, we exist because of the donations and the generosity of our community. And that's pretty well about 80% of our funding.
Yeah.
And we provide free medical care for working uninsured here in our 3-county area. But yes, sponsorships are greatly
Well, for instance, I know what the tickets cost. The tickets are $65, is that what you said?
65 each or two
and
for
two for
$120.
$120. And so if they buy a sponsorship, they
a $250 bronze level sponsorship, which is our lowest level, $250. They get 2 free tickets with that.
So they get 2 tickets.
Right. And gold level is $500. You also get 2 free tickets.
And their name is announced or something
Yes,
at the
we've got,
event?
Gold level. I said silver level is $500. You get 2 free tickets. Gold
free
level is $1,000. You get 4 tickets and it goes on up. So you have free tickets with each level. There's either a plaque or certificate.
Do y'all do this every year?
Yes, this is our annual fundraiser.
And you depend on a lot of this money to operate.
Yes, we do.
And
we truly do.
What counties do you service?
We service Coffee, Franklin, and Moore counties.
So that's quite a few people.
It's quite a few people. We've got, it's about 100,000 people in our service area. That's quite a few. And I think what I read, about 22% were the stats of uninsured adults between the ages of 19 and 22. Now, we serve the working uninsured.
Right. So if somebody out there wants to know more about what you do, does this number work for that?
This is our one and only number.
Your one and only number.
Yes, call us.
And I think you already said this, but we need to make it clear that you get help if you have a job. Is that correct?
Someone in the household has to be working minimum 20 hours a week, correct.
To get help.
And they have to be working or living.
What are some of the things you all offer?
We offer, it's like a regular routine doctor visit. We offer just a free, regular checkup doctor visit. I mean, you may have high blood pressure, you may have high blood sugar. There are a variety of asthma, allergies. We do routine stuff. Anything that requires a specialist, we can refer you to a specialist, and for that you would have to pay for it. But for anything within the clinic,
That
we've
you
got
all
some
do.
free labs.
That's
We've got a
wonderful.
gentleman by the name of Brian Williams comes in and
Good.
does free ultrasounds for us once a month.
You're kidding.
No,
That is really
not joking.
nice.
He donates his time.
That's
He donates
wonderful.
his time. The radiologists at Heart and Here donate their time to read them. A receptionist, she donates her time to type it up.
Well, obviously, this event that's coming up on August the 9th.
It's coming
What
up
time does that
fast.
start?
Starts at 6:30. We're going to park down at Jack Daniels Visitor Center. Your name will be on our list, so make sure you get your money in for reservations. And you'll hop on the bus, and they will haul you up to the top of the hill.
Up the top of the hill, and you sit back and relax. You think they'll be serving that famous Jack Daniel lemonade?
I believe that's on the agenda. Yes, ma'am.
That'll be worth the price of a ticket.
It's just about worth the price of a ticket.
All
yes,
right.
ma'am.
Any last words?
Just come and have dinner with us. We're just asking that folks come out and just enjoy a nice evening, sit back and relax, listen to some great music, and help support Partners for Healing. We're just wanting you to come have dinner with us.
And it's a wonderful cause. Thanks, Belle.
Oh,
I'm so glad
thank
you
you
came.
very much, Miss Peggy.
Love the idea of the party. We'll be back.
Salam.
Salam.
Ewa.
Ride. Apa ya Pak? Pak. Mir.
Shanti.
Nhiệt sang nhóc đi.
We all want the same thing.
Peace.
And Rotary clubs are making it happen. Through international scholarships for young people to promote peace and understanding around the world. Rotary. Humanity in motion.
All right, welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, and we're waiting on our cohort,
Here he is.
John. John made it to the stage, but
John is
all
on the run.
Yes, and the whole show has kind of been like that today. It was kind
We've
of
been
packed with
rocking
stuff
and
today,
rolling,
so
man.
quite
I know,
informative.
there's so much happening. So many things.
In all kinds of ways.
In all kinds of ways.
And life is so full of several things. and you can find most of them right here, folks. I guarantee you that.
Yeah, someone was just commenting on that, John, as you were doing an interview a while ago.
Melissa
I'm not
Sharan
kidding.
put something on the Facebook this morning about the team of Sneed and Glendale Swan and Melissa Sharan were back together. Look out.
Y'all better watch it. We got to go.
All right, we gotta go.
Yeah, we gotta
All right,
go.
but I think we're going to end the show today with Everett Brown.
Not really, no.
No, we're
No,
not.
we're not.
Okay, we don't
Okay,
have
we're out
time.
of time.
We're just
All
ending
right.
the show.
All right, thanks
See
so
you
much
next
for
time,
watching.
folks.